Hello and welcome to another edition of This. We're going to take a look now at this one, in favour of consensus decision making. Discussion leading to unanimous agreement. That's the key point about what this is all about. Non-hierarchical, non-authoritarian organisation. Building a synthesis from opposing viewpoints, rather than one view defeating the other. Gives people a big sense of ownership of the final decision and hence commitment to its implementation. People feel empowered and motivated. Highly democratic, more so than voting, because you're not left with a resentful minority. Everyone's views are taken into account to reach the final decision. People are taking full responsibility for the decisions they are making together. Resolves conflict between individual and group, both win. No leaders, everyone is equal, a true round table. Gets everyone aligned behind a goal that they formulate together. You can use a facilitator, like a chairperson, but with emphasis on enabling instead of directing the process. There are methods available to make the process more effective and efficient. Hand signals, breaking off into small groups for a few minutes, straw polls, etc. And groups are free to innovate their own methods. There is no one single official way to do it. It's deeply inspiring to take part in when it works. And on occasions when it has broken down, I believe that's a temporary setback. This way of organising is new to our culture, and it takes a while to get good at it. Groups that have been using it for a long time find they get really fast at it, to the amazement of newer groups who find it takes longer to make decisions. The management of an organisation is often not very good at representing and advancing the needs of the rank and file, because they are tempted to serve their own agenda or that of powerful outside interests. With consensus decision making, there is no management/rank and file distinction, because everyone formulates decisions together. Leads to more robust decisions because all points have been taken into account. Opposing forces can't take out the leaders or co-opt them because there are no leaders. There are methods available for large group decision making. For example, group breaks up into smaller groups. Delegates from each group report back from small group meetings to each other and then report back to the small groups. These delegates are not empowered to make decisions, only to relay information to the other delegates. Not every decision needs to be taken by the whole group. There can be working groups for different areas of work. Low-level decisions are taken at the level of the working group and will give updates to the whole group periodically. This is the principle of subsidiarity, decisions taken at the lowest appropriate level. So, we have a synthesis of autonomy and cooperation at all levels, from the individual up to the large scale. There are, and will be, obstacles, but I invite and dare people to think about why it can work, rather than why it can't. And to think about how we can all be empowered by using consensus decision making, rather than reasons why it might be difficult. Consensus decision making has been used effectively in organising and carrying out protests and direct action on issues such as climate change, war, and issues relating to globalisation. I believe it can be adopted by self-governing workers' cooperatives to build a new economy in which non-hierarchical cooperatives replace the top-down corporation. Thus, consensus decision-making is the revolution. Consensus decision-making has been the natural modus operandi of many indigenous peoples. It's also essentially the same thing as anarchism. Consensus decision-making kicks ass.